Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is George, and if you are meeting me for the first time, you know just exactly what to do. It's so good to have you right here, and today we are discussing Dr. Becky and Paul Enenche of the Dunamis, as a particular issue has been lingering on social media about their person. Now, the title of this video, indeed, if it is true that whatever this wonderful couple themselves know, or whatever they are working at with regards to information they have about one of an insider, or would I say one of their staffs, is true, they now call them, in this case, blackmailers. But why would I be calling them blackmailers if you don't really know what this thing is all about? Okay, so let me just give you straight what this particular video is about. I'm going to be playing you a secret audio recording. If you have not heard it before and you are new to this particular case, I have made the part 1 of this video already in the pinned comments about Dr. Paul Enenche himself, allegations against him, and me looking at it as to what I see from what is going on from the story released by the person that was working for them. But in this particular video, I am looking at the wife more specifically, even though it's going to rub off a little bit on the husband. So if you are interested in this, let's come back after the intro. Welcome back once again. It's good to have you. Now, discussing this particular case, now I'm going to first of all, going straight to the point, play for you the audio recording that was made of Becky. Please, you know your father's voice, you know your mother's voice. So those of you that are members of Dunamis, you know Dr. Becky Enenche's voice. It is not doctored. You see, that's how I was proving Suleiman's case, and how the shirt was his shirt and all those things. They say his voice is doctored. I don't know where you put, I don't know how they teach you people these things. It's not doctored, it's a real voice. So listen to it as, okay, let me just give you a preamble of what is happening here. There is someone that was working for her in the school she's more of like a director in. So the person went to her, or would I say they set up a meeting between her and the person who was supposed to come with his lawyer, to be precise, for them to discuss on how to settle this particular case out of court. And then she was giving her opinion and advice on how this particular issue that is going on should supposed to be settled, okay, outside of court, since the case is already in court or something. All right, so she was giving her advice or her opinion about the situation to the young man who was the one recording it. But I'm going to give you my opinion after you hear the audio. If you have heard the audio before, there's a timestamp, just skip it and then we get straight to the analysis. So listen to the audio.
Trying to compel a guy to take a deal for a sin, for a crime that he did not commit, simply because they want to blackmail him tomorrow. Church, Christianity, it's a joke now. It has been made a joke by these clowns. Listen.
I changed my phone, so my numbers became all mixed up. I mistakenly put an app that says they are helping you to arrange your numbers. That any number that will calls twice, they will sweep it. Instead of, they deleted my numbers.
Yes,
and I couldn't get them back, so that's been the issue. So, Mr. 𝐘𝐭.
yes, ma'am.
You didn't come with the lawyer again? I thought you said you wanted to come.
Yes, I'm alone. Okay. You know, oftentimes when I had invited you, you tell me you prefer to come with a lawyer. Yes. Okay. But since you are here, your lawyer is not actually necessary in this meeting.
No, it's not. So, Mr. 𝐘𝐭, we're all aware of what the situation is. I want to find out what's your current plan and take on the matter.
When this whole thing happened, I've maintained only one stand: to clear my name. I've labored in this place. I've worked here tirelessly. I've given my all. 7 years of my most youthful life.
You worked 7 years too.
And if I'm no longer needed, they can ask me to go and I'll go. But to tie me to molestation and kill my name is what I won't take. That's why I've been
that's
going.
Okay.
People will allow you to take your time.
No, it's okay. Let's follow Mr. Ikoji.
And I think you are just on the defensive.
No, Mr. Paul, no, it's
No,
okay. Don't worry.
just a moment, please. The board had even called the girl. We spoke with her and some other persons that corroborated what she said. So if you are to take it up legally, I don't think it's a battle you can win, very sincerely. But I think that is not why mommy has been very magnanimous about this matter. And I think if you are not on the defensive, you could be given a very soft landing. That's my thinking. That's my thought.
Thank you,
Well-
Mr. Paul. I just wanted to see Mr. Ikoji. I pushed for you to be patron.
Yes.
I saw you as very zealous and everything. If people felt no, but I felt, why not? And when the whole of this matter came up, this is my stand. All right? My stand is the cameras would not lie. There's a camera you avoided, but there was a blind spot which had a different form of camera, quite hidden, which you are not aware of. We have footages, but we don't want to bother with those angles. What I want you to do is to go and put in a resignation letter. Just calmly put in a resignation letter. You have served the school for 7 years, using a chunk of your very youthful and productive years. You wish to move on with your life and you'd like to put in a resignation. We'll be grateful if your application is favorably considered. In that light, if you have a resignation brought in, what we issue to you is an approval of your resignation, and then you are entitled to disengagement packages. If, however, you are not in agreement with what I'm discussing with you, we will give you a release letter. And the release letter comes with no packages, and you have no document to present in another school or in another workplace to say you worked in XYZ. But with a resignation letter, your resignation letter copy is with you, the agreement to your resignation is attached to you, and if you apply in another place, say, so why are you not working in Destiny Academy? You know, I resigned. Why did you resign? I want to move forward with my life. There is no how they will call the school and say, we want to confirm about one of your staff who was working with you is here with an application to work with us. What's your recommendation? Over the years, we say, oh, fine. If you find him qualified and he passes all your employment criteria, why not take him? He did a good job. We have done it. It's not one person, it's not two, it's not three. Okay, over the years, both in the church here itself and at least one of the people from the school. That's all I wanted to talk with you about that day. And I'm saying this because this is August almost ending now. Schools are recruiting, parastatals are recruiting. This is recruitment time because people normally recruit and do postings and do placements before September so that those that are relocating to a new town, relocating to a new area can relocate their children's schools and all those kind of things. So I am just speaking on your interest so that we forge a way forward. I know that's why I actually told Mr. Paul that if you wanted to come with your lawyer, you can, because I know your lawyer will be pushing you. Is it not dunamis? Take them, sue them to court. They will pay you damages. Why should they tarnish your name? There will be no such thing. There will be no damages to be paid. The church will not pay any money. Destiny Academy is autonomous of dunamis. Destiny Academy, we run just sufficient to buy the food for the children in the school, pay the teachers' salaries, and then run on a minimum. There's no amount they will charge us that will be available. We'll show the bank the account details. Where is that amount going to come from? So just tell your lawyer that this is not a path to tread for your peace of mind, for your children, for your wife and yourself, so that you can move on and forge on ahead. I had even told Mr. Paul at the very beginning of the whole matter, I said, how can you ask him to leave? Where is he leaving to? Oh yeah, go give him money for house rent so that he can move out of the house. And Mr. Paul is as strong-headed as you. You know Mr. Paul now. So it's like two heads are jamming. That's where this whole matter is. For me, the first week, when your wife met me at the staircase, I said, don't want to look into it. I've not heard. I didn't know anything about it. It was your wife meeting me at the corridor, at the staircase, that I heard that there was an issue. Well, I now called Paul. I said, what happened? What's going on? And then he gave me a brief. So I said, how can you tell them to move out of the house? Because your wife was saying that they gave you, is it 4 days to move out or 1 week to move out? I can't remember. So I told him, you can't tell somebody to just move out like that. Give him money for house rent. We brought him from the house he was renting to here. So we'll give him money to go back. If that house is still available, you should go and take that house. Then any other thing, you can sort it out. That's what I said. Then everything now turned. The next thing, Paul was telling me, you took them to police, blah, 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 blah. What is this? I've been so busy. It's Mr. Paul, he came with somebody yesterday, and then he said, hey, there's this issue we'll be wanting to see you about. I said, oh, what is it? He said, no, you come back another day. I said, today that you saw me, you better tell me. So he now said, I said, no, that's not it. I've been trying to get him. I went there. I couldn't get him. And
you knocked several times.
Yes.
You were told.
I knocked, I shouted, I said, it's mommy, I'm not here with police, or I'm not here with anybody. Open the door. I want to have a discussion with you. But there was no answer, so I left.
We were not in the house at the time. My sister-in-law gave birth, so my wife was there with the children, and I was away. I appreciate you, Mommy, for giving me this audience. I still think that this whole thing is one-sided. I've known Paul Onoja for a long time. We were in the university together. And by being here, I've known all the shady things he does. I know how Paul can come before you and Daddy and make people look bad, so that those people.
Sorry, I mean, I'm
going to.
1 minute, please.
I'm just going to say what is happening.
No, 1 minute.
This whole issue. You said I was on the defensive.
Wait.
This whole issue
You don't want to listen.
is a gang up between Chioma and Paul.
You look at me like a person that listens to hearsay. I don't have that time. You don't know my schedule today.
If you see, an option has been presented to you.
What I think
that's what you should work.
Out.
Yes, work on that first. Then you can have an audience. She has a preaching. She may have a preaching engagement. So, do you understand what I mean? Okay. So, work on this option. Yes or no. If yes, you go ahead. If no, then you said no.
If no, then we go ahead.
Then another, you could now, if you want to see her on some other issues, you could seek for an appointment.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mommy.
Oh, thank you, Mr. 𝐼𝐻�10. Thank you.
Yes,
so I'll be waiting to hear from you.
Okay.
And, I said to people, if you think somebody is corrupt, it's just a little matter of time. Do you know what happened? I have a check. Because, we stay here most of the time now. So, like on Sundays, we go there. Somebody builds a 2-bedroom for us here on the premises. He came, he sells a certain kind of block. So he said he needs a place so that he can showcase it. So people can come and look at the sample. Yes. So when he was building, he was almost done, and then the Holy Spirit told him to give it to us to stay in. So I kept on saying that if he had told me from the beginning, I would have been part of the construction. Because now the place is so tiny. The rooms are like this. Our clothes, everything is still in our house, so we just go there at the weekend, pick. I was even supposed to go to bring my clothes for convention, and I couldn't go. So anyway, what was I saying? In the process of what he was doing, his engineer was changing him. So he never knew until they started the work here. The work here is what exposed the man. The man has left him now. He has asked the man to go. One day he gave him a quotation and put exactly 850,000 above the required amount. You know what happened? He submitted it, the money was released to him. The next morning on his way coming to the same place, his engine knocked. He took it to the mechanic. They told it to the mechanic. The exact 850,000 was the amount required. You understand? So I said to people, I said, this place is not where you can do funny deals and get away with it.
We have seen it several.
No, it is not. There's a gentleman that was working, as we started staying here temporarily now, we now left him there to be cooking for the security and some other people that are there, my dogs and all. They will send him to the market, he will go and still collect the food on credit, and he's with the money. It didn't take like a month or so. It got exposed. So if Paul is doing shady things, it will come out, sir. It will come out.
It's not the angle I'm looking at it from.
So whatever it is, it will come out.
It is between Chioma and Paul, who have sworn.
Welcome back. Back again as we look at the audio itself as to what has been discussed or what has been spoken about. Now, my dear wonderful viewers, you guys are very intelligent people, so I want you guys to really use your intelligence quotient right now at the moment as we get to discuss this. He was supposed to have come there with his lawyer, but he didn't come. Even the wife herself said that, oh, it's even good he did not even come with him or something, okay? Because she believes that the lawyer is the one engineering him to do what he's doing, or would I say trying to soil the name of the school so that he can get paid for damages. So she went on to say that, of course, like the school itself is different from the church. So don't expect that because you are suing the church or something, dunamis is different from the school. So whatever amount you want to be paid for damages will not be paid to you, or it's not even available because we're going to show you our account balance that we don't even have that kind of money, that they are living on minimum. This is what Becky herself said. But let's go further to a couple of things. Now, I want you to note something right here. Okay, I am not a big fan of secretly or this secret recording this and this. Okay, I may not be the kind of person that will bring such kind of expose out, even though I can discuss them because they're on social media, you understand. So note this, the man himself that is recording this particular conversation is aware that he is recording this conversation. So he's going to be intentional about each and everything he's saying to fit his own narrative or what he believes in. So I don't, to a great extent, take to account what the person recording or doing this really says that much, even though it can trigger a genuine normal grounds response from the other party. But whatever Becky Enenche said and whatever her lawyer or whoever was the third person there said were actually from their heart, were actually from their mind. On a real grounds, because they are not aware that they are being recorded, so they were speaking their mind without any form of inducement or whatever. So aside him, the person recording, others don't know that they are being recorded. So let's get that particular fact straight. That's why I'm going to be focusing a lot more on what Dr. Becky herself said. Now, she went on to tell him, when he explained, of course, I've worked here for 7 years. If you just want to let me go without denting my name. That is a good cause because, of course, like I explained for you in the first video, when it comes to your goodwill, even you being a teacher, whatever establishment you're working on or whatever business you are into, your goodwill is very important. Goodwill cannot be quantified most times with money, even though when we look at business and accounting, goodwill is always quantified with money, but it's more of like that position you have in the minds of your customers as to how you are being perceived or the value they can get from you, you understand? So it's more of like your worth. That is not really that quantifiable, but it's more of like the hope for returns that can come from your worth being like this. So if he has to move on to somewhere else to go and work, even though from the way I look at that particular audio, I think he really does want to work there. He doesn't want to leave that particular establishment, which is more of like his life and everything. That's one thing. People that we are so churchified that it's more of like some people, their life and everything is in a particular church, and even if their papa is doing this, either is in scandal, do this, whatever, they will still be there because they have given their life to the church. They have given their soul, their entire being to the church. So them moving, because right now, tell me for a moment, okay, if he leaves that particular church and he's going somewhere else to go and work, do you think he's still going to be a member of his home church? Do you think he's going to really be at peace going to this church to go and sing 𝐽𝐻𝙗𝚗𝐭 weyo 𝐽𝐻𝙗𝚗𝐭? Do you think he's going to go there and be singing praises knowing that this particular church rusticated him for no just cause without even telling him what he did or even proving to him that he did this, did that? So if he is leaving that particular premises, if he is leaving that particular job, for him it's more of like him leaving that church. You see, that's the difference. You see, if he can go there with a free mind, even after this has happened, and still worship God without thinking of those things, that's when you know whether you have given your life to the church, to the building, to the establishment, to the organized group, or if you have given your life to Jesus, who is the reason why you are in this church. That's why for me, I'm not a denominational person. Where Christ is where I am. But going on here, you could see how Dr. Becky herself was sounding in that particular audio. I think she was very, to a great extent, very manipulative. Now, she said herself that there are CCTV footages. If you have seen this CCTV footage, it's just a simple thing for you to show the young man, because, of course, like we talked about in the first video, investigations have been done to the extreme by the federal CID, and then it has proven that nothing is like he's not being implicated or indicted. Okay, right now, according to him, they are looking for other form of charges. That's why there have been this whole drama that happened, as we looked at in the first video, where the security guard was even saying that, or the bodyguard was saying that he's a threat to his life and all that, and then the police had to get involved to make it look like he was assaulting the police, and then him disconnecting his water and electricity for him to cause a reaction or something, just looking for something to pin on him, to be more of like something to add in the legalities or whatever, to make sure that he's being silenced for good. But that particular man, or the other man, saying that there's no way he can win this particular case in court, is just to show you the level of manipulation that goes on the high level in these particular churches. Because if you listen to her talk there, you would hear one thing. She talked about having a CCTV footage. Now, this man has not even seen this CCTV footage, which has been something discussed for months. And how are they still going to court and, about this particular situation if they cannot even produce the evidence of that happening? It's to show you that when it comes to Nigeria, the way things work, okay, when you are someone that is, maybe you are influential or you are powerful, because whether you like it or not, in his church might be people that are lawyers. Even I'm not saying maybe the judge or those that are involved in this case might be members of his church. The lawyer that is right there, maybe defending the church in this particular case, might be a member of the church. So do you think the lawyer is going to put the interest of the person at hand or the interest of the church? Because if the church is going down, how will the lawyer feel that his own church has gone down under his watch, where he is the lawyer and legal representative of the church? Do you understand? So it's more of like the church is against this man. So him going there and making sure he got the recording of her saying this is more of like, okay, I think maybe just for us to have something to discuss and for the world to know what has happened, so that it doesn't look like, okay, tomorrow this and this, okay? But for her to say that there's a CCTV footage and then describing how it was done, the blind spot, this and that, what has stopped you, Madam Becky, from showing the young man what it is you are being accusing him of? Because if he can know what it is you are accusing him of, why would he still be moving further and trying to make sure he gets some form of justice, or would I say some form of comfort that these things is wrong, and then he can move on? Because he has said that if you want him to move on, he can move on. But why giving him this particular condition that he must, look at this, that he has to sign, or would I say tender a resignation letter? First you have sacked him, now you want him to resign. That means you sacking him, you know that to a great extent, based on legality or based on, how things are supposed to go, he doesn't really deserve that sack. Right now, you are telling him to resign on his own. What is Becky herself, together with those other people that work in the school, what are they working at? Now, the particular narrative that this man knows a couple of things and knows dirty things they do or know this, that might just be a jamboree, it might just be a lie, okay? if there's anything he knows, I think to a great extent it will be more of like to the extent of all of these injustice and things that happen in that particular school. What if in that school worse things even go on? Because if Dr. Paul and Becky Enenche can be having this conversation, even harboring or covering this act, assuming they are accusing him of this and it happened, imagine what kind of things goes on in that school and they call it a Christian school. You understand? So look at it on both sides. Are they trying to protect their image without letting this thing blow off? But the person himself does not even know that he has done this. He has not even been shown the evidence to himself. Or are there other worse things happening that if this person is in there for a long time or something, he might be the one spilling the beans or spilling the what? Because if you are giving him the option for him to resign or you give him a release letter, what is the bait here? Packages. Are you going to sell your soul because of money? Are you going to trade your goodwill as a person because of money? If you are tendering your resignation, if he's the one tendering his resignation, that means right now he's going to decide a different thing to be more of like the reason why he's resigning, even though it's not as if, there's a way you can tender a resignation and then your employer would say, no, that we are not letting you go. Please stay more or something because you are highly valued or whatever. So whatever resignation, whatever he tenders as his reason for resigning, he's going to be accepted. The whole idea is for him to end the case and then whatever packages, which we don't know what packages he's going to get, is going to be given to him, and then the whole case of what he's being accused is going to go off. But I think to a great extent, that particular accusation on him is not going to go off. He's going to live with that stigma, knowing that, or people knowing that, or it being on record that the reason why he left, or maybe why he resigned, was because he was caught rampant with young girls in the school, which of course, according to the person himself, it is false, because Becky herself has not proven it. I don't know if you're getting the point right now. So if he tenders a resignation that he wants to leave the school, and then he's been accepted and given packages, what happened to the accusation that they have given on that are leveled upon him? So I think it's a just cause for this young man himself to want to make sure that this particular thing goes to the extreme of him being vindicated, even though it means him not getting any packages. So which one would you pick? You being vindicated even without packages, or you having that stigma on you being accused of church because she is still claiming and saying that indeed he molested young girls and there are footages of that evidence. So if he's tending a resignation, that particular narrative of him having rampapized with those particular children will still be there. C'est clair? And if you heard her say something about that, it's as if she has been doing this before. There was a point she was saying that, before, this has been done before, even the staffs here and there. So you can imagine how many people might have been rusticated or sacked unjustly from that particular school, because let's say maybe it gets to a point, it's more of like either you cannot be promoted any further, or maybe they cannot pay you. But there should be a particular reason why they don't want him to be in the school anymore, instead of putting these particular allegations on him. But the point where I would say, okay, she has maybe a little bit of a heart, because if I'm looking at blackmail here, it is blackmail on the ground. What does blackmail itself mean? Using an information about someone that is true about them to extort money from them. That is blackmail, like in real sense. But in this case, it's going to be more of like using, let's assume that what Dr. Becky herself is saying is true. She's using that particular information that she has to make him or coerce him do what he doesn't want to do, which is tendering a resignation. And if that is true and she wants to use that to make him resign, that means she's trying to protect the image of the school of this particular thing being blown out. But right now, it has been blown out on the internet. So what is going to be left for her to do is to reading down proof to him or proof to the world. That is if they even respond. This was the same Dr. Becky herself that was instrumental to getting Osinachi's mother to the husband over there in Abuja for her to receive medical treatment, because Osinachi called her and told her, "Mommy, see what in there happen. Can you talk to my husband to allow my mother come over And the husband listened to mommy. Not even listening to the wife. The husband listened to mommy and allowed the mother of Osinachi come for medical treatment. We looked at it in this video right here on the platform. If you think what I'm saying is not true. No wonder when Dr. Paul Enenche finally, after the whole social media outcry, decided to come and react to it and say what he knows. Where was Madam then? Madam was just there for intro. Hello everyone, after she disappeared. Because Madam herself knew what was going on in that family. So both of them, they are aware of waiting they go on. So in this particular case, it's not different from Osinachi's case. It's just more of like them trying to protect their conglomerate. So if such a thing is really happening, let's be objective right here. If such a thing is really happening in that school, she is more concerned about the image of the school, which will now implicate the fact that the children of the school themselves may not really be saved in the hands of those they call their teachers. If the teachers themselves that are planning this thing against this man are doing it on false or falsely, what if those teachers themselves might even be doing those kind of things, or maybe be doing worse in that particular school? What if the teachers themselves, all of them, without even with this person right now being involved, are involved in some kind of acts that are not supposed to be so in that school? And they have just decided to implicate one person and make sure he's gone. What if this is something that is just going on in that school? But right now, the target right now is to protect the image of the school for this not to come out. If I'm believing what Dr. Becky herself is saying, that this is true. So she says convincingly that there's the footage. But yes, the person doesn't have the footage of what you're talking about or hasn't even seen it. And the reason why he's pushing for that is for him to get this particular evidence and convince himself that, oh yes. But do you think if this person really did this, that he's going to be going this far for this? Or does the school even have CCTV self to even start with? And if it is you like this right now that you want to do that kind of thing, would you not check around? Normally, if you want to do some things that you know that you are not supposed to do, you look around, look front, look back, look before you do it. Would he even be doing that in the school premises? So I don't know if you understand what I'm saying right now. But where I'm going to give her a slack is the point where she was saying that when he was told to leave the premises, she was more of like, how can you tell him to leave without him paying, without giving him money for rent? He left where he was staying to come and stay in the school and all of that. I think that was more concerning of her, even though I don't know what was in her mind, whether it was more of like to manipulate him or make him feel that, oh, I am still your mommy, this and that. Because even at that point, he was still calling her mommy. Just imagine how far the mind has gone with this whole euphoria of daddy and mommy, to the point that, of course, daddy and mommy can never ever be wrong. We have watched a video right here where a man said, a father can never be wrong. Whatever they do, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Are you getting the point? So we can say that she was loving enough to want to help to settle them so that they can go elsewhere in that particular context. But what was happening right there was not just the right thing or the right mode for him to be, laid off. But it's just the way their audio or the audio conversation ended is something that I just found funny, because I don't know if that was manipulation. When he was leaving, she told him that he's harboring anger and wickedness, which is for the sake of his eternity, that he should not harbor anger and wickedness in his heart. And I'm now asking myself, Dr. Becky, the wickedness of your heart no be for here, because it is very wicked. The person you are manipulating, or the person you are saying that is harboring anger and wickedness, and for the sake of his eternity, he should not harbor such anger and wickedness either towards the school or whatever. You yourself, madam, what is more wicked than the fact that you cut off his lights and water? What is more wicked of the fact that you are telling him to tender a resignation without even proving to him that what he has done is wrong? Because where it would have been a good thing is that you have proven to the young man that he did this, which you say he didn't do, and yet still you are telling him to resign and you're going to give him packages. That makes sense. That means you just want to lay him off, keep the image of your school, deal with this particular thing, hush, and then, give him packages to go. That is loving. But for you to, in this case, I would think, lie against him, still want him to resign with the stigma that he did something that he didn't do. That is arrant wickedness, because how can he progress in life to a different school where he wants to teach us something without clearing his name? And for a fact, him being in that particular kind of mission school or something, if he goes to like a government school, maybe he's going to start from scratch before he moves from level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 to all those levels. So I understand where the man is coming from, because he has given his life into the school. 7 years, not be 7 days. You understand? So he feels that maybe one day he's going to rise to be like a director or something or whatever. But you see, when I talk about things that happen in churches like this, these are the kind of people that will come in the comments and then defend. Oh, yeah. This kind of person right now might still be the kind of person that will defend their papa anywhere, anyhow. But until that thing come touch you yourself, you're not going to know how far. Many of the people that when I talk about church stuff and news I see that happen in church that come and defend and write this are people that are working in that church, that maybe pastors, protocol, this and this. So this is where they feed from. This is where they have a life from. If he's going somewhere else right now, he's going to start from scratch. Of course, he has experience, but when you are promoted to the point of patron like that, of course, it comes with bonuses, it comes with, higher ranking and all those kind of things, which he may not be able to get elsewhere aside from that school where he has been already for 7 good years. So I understand where this particular man himself is coming from. So do not miss, Dr. Becky, your wickedness is on a different level. Or if you are saying that he's harboring wickedness in his heart for trying to find out the truth and trying to save his name, your wickedness is on another level. I don't know what you and your husband are doing right there in that church, but I hope that God is going to touch your heart to do the right thing, sir and ma. We respect you right here. We don't know. I'm not the kind of person that is, do you hear me call someone fake? I discuss the fact of the case and I move on. Okay, but tell me what you think in the comments, my dear wonderful viewer, right here on the platform. When I make video about government, some of you disappear. I made a video here about 2 videos here about the government. People, you don't watch those ones. After some people will come in the comment and open their mouth saying, yeah, you don't talk about, you only talk about pastors. But this one that is about government. Where are you people? Nowhere. Anyway, I don't mind you. You watch what you want to watch. I'll see people next time right here on the platform. Tell me what you think about Dr. Paul Enenche's and Becky Enenche's story, as I get to see you next time with other trends. We have a series coming up, my village people coming up, as I look at a couple of my village people situations in church. So I'm still working on the script, and then I hope we get to learn a whole lot from it, because this time around, people eye must open by fire, by force. See you next time.
Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun. One time. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Ó jẹ́ ènìyàn ló dúró mi, wọ́n ti mọ̀ sí ẹ̀kọ́. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun. Ọlọ́run o. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Ó jẹ́ ènìyàn ló dúró mi, wọ́n ti mọ̀ sí ẹ̀kọ́. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun. Ẹ ṣeun púpọ̀. Ó jẹ́ ènìyàn ló dúró mi, wọ́n ti mọ̀ ṣe é kó. Onídúró mi ẹ ṣeun.